So one of the main things that I get asked often as a dog walker is how do you control so many dogs at one time? I mean, I've only got 5 in this group, but you know, you could have more than that. And people say, how do you control them all? How do you get them all to listen and stay close by? And you know, when they've all been trained by different people will use different recall words, different cue words, different tones, and blah blah blah. Yeah, which is true, but dogs don't really understand words. You know, when you see people talking to them, say what you're doing that for and stuff like this, and don't be silly. Dog has no idea what the bloody hell you're saying at all. So we need to sort of decode how the dog responds to certain words, and they respond to certain words via like conditioning. So a word has to mean something. This is why dogs can eventually ignore the name on a recall, because they just they'll just learn to ignore it if nothing good comes from it. If the word means nothing to them, they'll learn to blank it out. So how do I do this? I have one word for all dogs, and it usually means let's go, and we're all going in the same way. And what I'll do with new dogs is I'll say let's go and change direction, and them like series of words and that sound, even though the words mean nothing to the dog, the sound will eventually mean we're going this way, and if you come this way you'll get a treat, basically a bit of positive reinforcement to the word, so they've got some relationship to that word. And a lot of the times if the dogs don't respond to them words, it's been well documented that the tone of the voice and how you use your tone and the repetition of it will make a massive difference to how the dog responds to it. Like dogs, like I've just said, they don't actually understand the words that you're saying, and you can try this with your own dog. If you were to stand there and say you know, the nicest things ever in an angry tone, do you know what I mean? You can say it in a really angry tone with like hovering over posture and pointing at the dog. You can be saying the nicest things in the world, you're the best dog in the world, I love you to absolute bits, but if you say it angrily, a dog's going to take your posture, your sound as something negative, and then possibly pin their ears and cower slightly. And obviously vice versa. You could be saying the most rude and obnoxious things to the dog, but you could be doing it in such a nice pleasant tone that the dog will think it's the best thing ever. You're the stupidest dog in the world. I've seen vegetables with more personality than you. You're the worst dog ever. You know what I mean? If you say that really chipper and stuff, dogs are going to get super excited because they haven't got a bloody clue what you're saying. So I use this to recall the dogs. So when we're walking, I'll use like a really light, high-pitched, playful sort of noise to get all the dogs to come in my direction. So I'll be like, yep, yeah, and they'll all look. Whereas if they're doing something I don't want them to, or they're going too far, got a fly in my eye, I'll like use a quick just like something abrupt and sharp to stop the dogs and make them and pay attention. So tone will play and body posture will play a lot more role than what the actual words will, especially if they're not your dogs and you train them. So yeah, as a professional dog walker, I rely heavily on tone and posture, directional movement to teach the dogs. And then eventually when they start looking at me and coming this way, I'll just carry a pocket full of treats and I'll just positively reinforce the fact that they're following me. And eventually it'll become a natural behaviour for them to stay close by. But yeah, that's how I deal with a group and a multiple handful of dogs.